Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be live streaming this flash crypto crash. We're going to be talking about it, addressing it, and really kind of talking about where we can go. So, obviously, I did admit on Twitter that I was wrong on Bitcoin breaking down below 37K before we did see 40 or 50K plus. In my opinion, when we talk about 37.4K, I thought that that level was going to hold fairly strong or around that range. But hey, these wicks are, expected. When we talked about the Fed meeting yesterday, I said, I wouldn't, ape in yet. I wouldn't FOMO into any altcoin positions because usually these, pumps lead to a 180 reverse. So we are seeing that right now. We're actually seeing some nice buy points in this market. I would say like the graph under 30 cents is something pretty interesting to me. A lot of these altcoins that I have been eyeing for a while now are in a perfect buy point almost. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned. I'm really kind of watching for altcoins that did fairly good in 2021, specifically like the graph. Like we are at levels that we haven't seen since going back as far as 2021. So this, in my opinion, is a level that I'm watching for on graph as we do kind of eye the almost $4 billion market cap zone. So I'm watching some altcoins like that. Now, as we do look at this overall drop, I'm here sipping some coffee, really kind of just watching the market as I just woke up a little bit ago. And, a lot of people are concerned, a lot of people are panicking, and I love to see that because, yesterday I think that there was way too much bullish tweets going around saying, Bitcoin to 100K, Bitcoin's going to 120, 160, 200K. I told you guys were all wrong. We were going to, 200K all day long. When we see tweets like that, it really kind of makes me wonder, what's the next move here? You can kind of see it. But in terms of the fear and greed index, we are sitting at about fear right now at 27. This does get updated in about 5 hours almost. I would say that we want this to be at extreme fear, and I do believe that this will be, of course, that level that we hit in about 5 hours. I think that this dip could probably get a little bit worse, but we are going to be talking about a few on-chain metrics, and then we're going to kind of talk more so about some charts. So let's just dive in. Let's talk about a few things, and then I'll chat, amongst all of you and really kind of answer some questions that you guys might have. So first and foremost, wow, $82 million in Bitcoin long liquidations in 2 hours with almost $63 million in 1 hour. Now, when we look at this, honestly, I wouldn't even be too concerned about these liquidations. Don't get me wrong, does it suck to see people losing money? Yes, 100%. But liquidations happen all the time in this market. In fact, going back to the May timeframe of 2021, we've seen billion-dollar plus liquidations. It was pretty rough. But as we do kind of see this is not too bad. In terms of the on-chain metrics right now, the number one thing that I've been watching with Bitcoin, specifically regarding Fed meetings, is that we always have these scam pumps, and then it leads to a massive rug pull, if you will. The reason behind a lot of these is, when we talk about shakeouts happening, we need to have these massive shakeouts in order for us to continue upward. And when we talk about washes, right, this was an entire market wash. So yesterday during the live stream, I said, please pay attention to things that are happening around these Fed meetings. Specifically, do not just dive in because we are seeing green throughout the market, right? Excuse me. With Bitcoin, we did see futures markets have seen a whirlwind of 24 hours following the Fed rate hikes yesterday. Over 26.5K Bitcoin worth of open interest was added to the market during yesterday's rally. Funny thing about this is that, however, during the sell-off today, almost all of this open interest, 25K Bitcoin, has been closed out. Now, this is exactly why I say, please pay attention to things that are happening around these meetings. When we look at things like this, the entire process of, open interest will tell you exactly where we are headed to in this market. For an example, you see, deleveraging, you see over leveraging, but also when we look at things like Fed meetings that are primarily fairly bullish, like yesterday it was kind of like, all right, we are seeing about a 0.5 interest rate hike, which is like whatever. I mean, when we look at those rate hikes, they're not too concerning. They're not going to kill the markets. They're not going to collapse the markets. I've always said that a lot of these, things are priced into the market already. And in my opinion, they already were. But again, we need some sort of substance to pump the market so that we could have this capitulation event. I think that when we talk about mass shakeouts, I have not been shaken out once, even going back as far as the May of 2021 timeframe, specifically because when I look at, the things around liquidity and capitulation, a lot of the shakeouts that do happen occur at near bottom levels. And I've always said this even in regards to Bitcoin's levels going back as far as, May, but also even going back as far as March of 2020. For an example, I can kind of show you this. So just recently, right? So we were like around the bottoming point here where we had that massive sell-off event on the weekly candle of January 24th. We were still at around the range of the bottom, but everybody thought that we were going to, skyrocket out of here that day, right? But in fact, and this is on the weekly, by the way, just so you guys know, but we had this much deeper liquidation event. We've seen this multiple times. In fact, these deep candle wicks are things that really kind of lead to, one, the bottom being in, but also it leads to shakeouts before we do have that nice little rally. I've showed you guys this even in regards to the June timeframe. Everybody thought that this was our bottom. And once we kind of had that recovery in terms of the weekly basis, everybody thought, all right, well, we're just going to go into an uptrend and continue up. Well, then we seen that massive capitulation event yet again in June, where everyone thought this was it. It's over. We're going into a multi-year bear market. This was our topping point at roughly, 65K. And then we ended up trading sideways, upward momentum, and we went to a new all-time high. We've seen this so many times, even going back as far as January of 2021, where the dollar started to gain momentum. People thought that this was it. It was over. We topped a little bit, later than usual in terms of 2017. But again, we had that capitulation event, upward swing, continued to make a new all-time high. And the same goes even for like March of 2020. Like everybody was calling for $3,000 here because everybody thought that like we were going into a bear market. Everybody was panicking during this time. We rode the 200-day EMA, continued in an upward path, and we made new all-time highs. These capitulation events usually happen around the bottoming points of Bitcoin. So in my opinion, I would say that we are nearly at the bottom point. But again, these Fed meetings are never extremely bullish. They are never times to FOMO into the market. When we talk about a few altcoins, right? I've said yesterday that I did buy a few altcoins, and yes, I did. I'm still in those positions. I'm not going to liquidate those positions just because we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off in the market. In fact, on some of these, I'm still in profit points, even at these low points. I bought Spell at 0.003. Algorand, I'm pretty sure Algo probably lost almost all of its momentum, but we are still in profit of over 2.5 cents, which is not terrible. It's not great either, but we are still in profit points on a lot of these. So in my opinion, when we talk about things happening around this market right now, alts still don't look too bad here. And it's because Bitcoin dominance is actually, at the 42% mark. I would say that Bitcoin still looks pretty strong here. But there was a few, individuals like Credible Crypto that was talking about these levels that needed to be filled. And I've said this before the Fed meeting as well. I did it on a market analysis video where I was talking about, 35 to 36K on Bitcoin. Now, we do see here, it looks like we came back for the rest of them. As stated previously, the success rate of this entity getting its bids filled is high. Looks like the Finex whale has done it again. And of course, these bids were getting filled. You could see the accumulation happening here. I don't know what wallet address this is in terms of Bitcoin addresses, but we know that the third wallet did buy a lot yesterday. Hey, what's going on, Encrypt? Nick Collins, what's going on, man? But yeah, honestly, when we talk about the bids being filled on Bitcoin, we knew that these were going to most likely get targeted. That's why I even said, watch for a slight candle wick down to these levels. Again, everyone thinks and everyone is expecting Bitcoin to go back to the May of 2021 timeframe levels where we do have these massive crashes, but I don't believe that that's exactly the pattern that we're playing into. In fact, when we talk about patterns in this market, a lot of these, patterns don't usually play out identically. So when we talk about the current level that we are at now, we could actually have a pump through summer similar to the 2020 timeframe, where we kind of repeat that sort of time where we had the DeFi summer into, again, the fall timeframe, where we did see a lot of alts kind of preparing to go parabolic. But in my opinion, a lot of these altcoins, in terms of the market, if we do play into the market structure, we could have a topping point at around the September fall timeframe, similar to 2017, 2018. And I think that this is just one massive capitulation event. Also, shout out to Encrypt30 on Twitter, but we do see here some personal thoughts on Bitcoin. This metric is the 30-day change on exchange net position. It is my personal belief we are somewhere around October 2020, whereby mass accumulation occurs, providing eventual supply shock and a final impulse to the upside. And this is exactly what I've been addressing to you as well. We look at the on-chain metrics, and everybody loves to say that the on-chain metrics don't mean anything, but they actually do print a way better picture. I would say, currently, when we are talking about Bitcoin, we are still in a massive accumulation zone that has been trading sideways for a while now. So when we talk about things like this specifically, do I think that we could get a little bit more bearish? Sure, but I do believe that we are still around our bottoming point on Bitcoin, specifically around that 5.5K zone to 36K. We are seeing whales getting their bids filled. We are seeing accumulation happening on a large scale. These shakeout events make whales accumulate individuals selling. So while people are selling very cheap Bitcoin, whales are accumulating that cheap Bitcoin because they do see, of course, the next major move here in the market. Now, talking about that next major move in the market, where could we foresee Bitcoin going? Well, I've always said that we need to hit some resistance zones and smash them first. Ultimately, on the recovery here, so this entire area down here at about 35.2K, which is the bottom level of the July candle, the weekly July 26th candle, I've said that that is a level that we could most likely wick down to, but it's around this range of roughly like 38.2 to 35.2K. This is like that accumulation zone that we've seen whales accumulate in greatly. This actually goes back to even the summertime as well in terms of demand zones. But when we look at this, we want to have a strong break back up into a strong point. That strong point would be roughly like 42 to 44K. We need to have a nice impulsive move out of here. Specifically, I would love to see us break 48K eventually. It's going to take some time to build back up to that and recover, but the longer that we kind of trade sideways in this momentum, the more and more people get shaken out just by patience alone. We always don't need capitulation events for individuals to be shaken out. Most of the retail individuals will get shaken out just by time in the market alone, because everyone wants fast cash. I've seen it all the time with just investments in my own altcoins, specifically like even Hbar, right? Everyone is still around Hbar, very, very worried. They're panicking because they didn't get rich overnight with it. Guys, this is not crypto. Crypto is not a get rich quick scheme. So a lot of people will most likely get shaken out by just time in the market alone. When we talk about things happening around economic standards in terms of, hey, is a recession nearing? If a recession does near, why would I be holding the US dollar anyways? So like if you think about it like this, would you rather be in crypto or would you rather be in the US dollar when a recession happens? Because in my opinion, even if a recession did happen tomorrow, I would still be happy holding crypto, simply because not only am I protecting my capital by investing into companies, right? These are logical companies that I'm investing into. Of course, I'm not investing into like Dogecoin and Shiba. But when we talk about a recession, the US dollar itself still gets hurt greatly. We're talking about inflation rates on top of course, the taxable rate in your bank account yearly. So right now, individuals year over year are getting taken 8.5% advantage of in terms of their wallet. When we look at that, why would you want to hold the US dollar? You're not gaining any money yearly off of the US dollar. So in my opinion, I'd rather hold crypto because technology itself, in terms of crypto tech with the fintech area, greatly reduces the cost and friction of a lot of things in terms of payments, in terms of a lot of industries around like healthcare. So again, I'm not too worried about a recession. I think that we are still time away from a recession. From what Jerome Powell did say yesterday, they're trying to preserve the markets and the economy. Don't know how long they could do that for, but in my opinion, I do believe that we still see that massive rally before we do see a recession happen. But my time base on a recession is like around 2023 to 2024 anyway, so that gives us plenty of time for the market to recover and actually go off. So with that, I do want to also address the number 3 whale. So this is the top Bitcoin addresses. This is the number 3 Bitcoin address. Now, when we did see this wallet sell off that 1500 back in April, it was April 29th to be specific, we seen a little bit of a short impulse in the market. We came down a little bit, but it wasn't a drastic drop. The funny thing about this is that this is actually showing us that whales are also uncertain about what is happening around this market. So, as you know, a few people have a solid idea around what's going to be happening, right? Like, we kind of look at things around, you know, crypto right now. Everyone is kind of worried about, are we going to have that bear market or are we going to have a bull market? Well, although individuals right now are also very uncertain, so are whales, because we've seen this whale sell 1,500 on April 29th just to buy over 1,000 at an average price of 38.5K. Again, we are still around the bottom range, but they are in a massive loss right now on this buy, itself. Again, this tells me that we are still seeing some whales being uncertain, but we also see some whales grabbing up this massive supply at these cheap prices because we are still around the bottoming range. This buy point at 38.5K will most likely see a massive profit point by the end of this year at least. And when we're talking about other whales right now, we are seeing mass accumulation around Bitcoin either way. So it doesn't really matter what happens from here as long as we hold the range above 35K, which I believe that we will. I think that when we talk about the bottoming point, we are still going to make that higher low pattern. We'll most likely just test the demand range around the July 26th weekly candle. But as we do kind of see things, why exactly are we dropping today, right? Because we've seen the Dow Jones go down almost 1,200 points. Let me refresh this. So 1,230 points. The NASDAQ 725 points. We see the S&P 500 down 175 points as well. While, Bitcoin is down significantly, but are we really down that bad compared to what indices are down? Like, I would say that Bitcoin is actually holding fairly strong currently. And when we look at, things around this market specifically, a lot of this is just a massive sell-off event. This is to shake out as many weak hands as possible before the next major impulsive move. Again, off of every single capitulation event, we've had a nice impulse. Specifically, I really look at the, candles from the 2021 timeframe. So, again, pay attention to things happening around the economic factors in regards to even the indices. We are seeing mass accumulation still on metrics, on-chain metrics, and then we also do see whales accumulating around this range because they are still uncertain on what things like what's happening, but we also do see mass accumulation happening around these capitulation events. So again, pay attention to the accumulation ranges, but also the US dollar, right? So the US dollar came back up and tested that, resistance zone. Again, we've seen a little bit of a rejection there. I'm watching this closely to see if we do continue to reject off of this area. Again, tomorrow is the last day to really kind of see if we are going to see a massive rejection here or not. But this is in sort of the same range for March of 2020, which I've said multiple times. Pay attention to the pattern that we did play into back here where we did have this sort of topping point, trade it sideways. We had this nice sell-off event, sideways momentum before, again, rejecting fully into that for that yearly bear market that we did see all the way to around January of 2021. Now, again, I do believe that we are still in that same range where we do see the sideways momentum against resistance still, which is like around the 104 area. So I'm watching the dollar here to see if we do still see that weakness area really kind of filled, or a rejection off of that resistance point to have that 180 and retest some EMAs. Specifically, I've been watching that 200-day EMA closely at about 96.63. You know, this doesn't have to go into a bear market for us to have that alt season. All we need is for the dollar to weaken a bit, because right now a lot of individuals around, for an example, like stocks and even crypto in terms of risk on assets, are kind of worried about buying because of how strong the US dollar actually is. Now, I do believe that in terms of this weekly candle is going to be something pretty significant, because we never seen 6 consecutive weekly candles where Bitcoin closed bearish. So this weekly candle is actually going to be something to watch for, because if tomorrow we could see the dollar weaken a bit, we could see the indices bounce back a bit, we'll most likely see Bitcoin over the weekend have a nice little rally in it, which will most likely be, again, to retest possibly 44K. If we could break out of 44K, that's going to be, you know, a retest of 48K. And if we could break that, then we are on the way to 50K plus. But I'm watching this, you know, chart closely as everyone is panicking. In my opinion, there really is no cause for panic here. We are still in, you know, a fairly good area in terms of support range. So I'm not too worried right now on that. You know, why are altcoins not taking too big of a hit right now? It's because of Bitcoin dominance. Like I've said, in terms of Bitcoin dominance, we are still building that floor around this range of 41.33%. We are still waiting for that nice impulsive move on this for Bitcoin to actually kind of pump out of this range. But it's going to take a little bit more time. And I've always addressed, you know, pay attention to May specifically, because in May, you know, everyone is expecting that massive dump similar to 2021. But as everyone is expecting the same exact thing, for me personally, I'm not too worried about, you know, the same exact thing happening, because as the mass public expects one thing, usually the opposite thing happens. So as everyone is expecting a recession to happen, like right now, a bear market to happen right now, stocks are going to crash, everything's plummeting to zero, I honestly think the opposite is going to happen. So not too worried on that. When we look at a few altcoins, so to really kind of just wrap this up, I will say this. A few altcoins that I have been eyeing are ones that have pumped drastically on the 7-day span. A few of them are up significantly, like XDC. I will buy this once it comes back down into my range of like roughly 5 cents. If we do see that again, 5 to 5.5 is not a bad area to really look at. I have been watching a few other altcoins in terms of how low we can actually go. There's a few great buys right now throughout the market, but I wouldn't be buying like the top like 20 coins. I just don't see a major, you know, ROI position with a lot of those. And yes, that does mean like XRP and stuff. You know, if we do come down a lot lower, yeah, sure, I think that the buy points are definitely there. But a lot of these altcoins, in my opinion, are still on some major support. So we most likely will be at a bottoming point around, we could actually see this on the total too. So I've been addressing the total 2 closely in terms of our bottoming range, and it's most likely around this point here of roughly like $943.3 billion. I've been watching this area to see if we just continue to test this on the weekly and kind of hold this level, which will not push altcoins down too far, which is why I do like the fact that Bitcoin dominance is not too high on this, you know, drastic drop, because altcoins could have got hit a lot worse from here. So I'm not too worried on that, but I see the chat going absolutely crazy right now. So let me try to catch up a little bit on the chat. I mean, there's 250 of you in here. It's absolutely insane. But let me check what's up. So loaded up on XDC, XSP, SHIB, and QNT. Hey, what's going on? XDC didn't move much because it's not on any platform except a few. I think it's a good buy anytime. Yeah, I think XDC at around these ranges is not too bad in terms of a buy point, but I wouldn't just FOMO in just to FOMO in. I think that the listing on Uphold definitely helped it. So Casper, yeah, Casper is a little bit, you know, of a... Casper actually hurt me a little bit as I was buying a little bit higher than where we are now, but you know, this did come back down to test a significant range, and we could actually kind of address that. So let me zoom in real quick. We are on the weekly. The weekly's fine to really kind of address this because we could see where we actually are. So again, in terms of the weekly candles here, we could come down a little bit lower. I would say like around this range here is not too bad. We're basically at the bottoming point. I mean, the lowest that we could technically go on this would be at around like 5.5 cents. Excuse me, 5.5 cents to like maybe even 5 cents exact. So around this, I mean, I don't mind accumulating here because I've accumulated around like the 7 cent range down to like even 6 cents around here. My average, I think, on Casper is probably like around like 7 some cents. I mean, if I had to calculate, it was probably like around like 7 some cents. So I'm still in the water on Casper, but again, on a lot of my positions, I'm not too worried because I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, why would I take the loss here as everything is still, I mean, like everyone just mass selling. Like the opposite of FOMO in this game, I would say is just like the fear of like losing everything. So like everybody just wants to preserve their like capital, invest it. But in my opinion, it's like either like ride or die. So to me, it's either you want to FOMO, so like you want to just buy into anything that's green, or you could just mass sell just because everything is red. So to me, I'm not playing into my emotions. I'm just sitting here, just watching the charts, seeing where we are in terms of support zones. And, again, if we have a significant bounce off of support, then I usually buy. I don't just buy anything that is down because, trying to catch a falling knife is, just ridiculous in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm just going to shout out to a few people in here. So, David, I see you. Dub, I see you as well. Metal, I see you. There's so many people in here. It's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, I'm just, it's insane how many people are in here. I've never seen the live stream this active in a while. So I'm very happy to see everyone in here. Everyone's probably thinking the same thing that a lot of people are thinking on Twitter. Is it all over? Is this it? Are we all dead in the water? But yeah, honestly, I would just say like, right now, if you are emotional around this dip, I wouldn't worry too much. I would say, currently, if looking at the charts and things like that worry you or concern you, I would just kind of like step away, kind of go do something else until things kind of bounce back. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to zero, sell everything. Yeah, if you guys aren't a part of the free Discord, you guys could definitely check out the free Discord. We joke around, we say everything's going to zero and stuff if you guys don't get the joke, but there's a ton of free content in the Discord. It's solid. So but yeah, definitely smash that like. 2112 Crypto is saying smash the like. Definitely smash that like button. I'm excited, not scared. Honestly, I'm terrified, and I've said this on Twitter multiple times. I am terrified that I do not hold enough crypto. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I want to buy so much more because I'm just so worried that I don't have enough. The Discord is fire, yeah. Honestly, I do want to, I want to do a few more updates with the Discord and add a few other things, like maybe even like not buy alerts, but like trade alerts and stuff. Still thinking about how to do that, but we'll see. If you're still below your DCA, there's nothing wrong with buying a few bucks worth. Yeah, honestly, there's not. Like, if you could lower your, average, it doesn't hurt at all. Bro, I sent you an email. I want to partner with you somehow. It's a good time to buy AMP and Tron. I see you, Nick. Keep it going. Yo, Nick, what's going on? I think slowly going down until the end of this year. No, I don't see this going into, like, I honestly is pumping out of this range very soon. I think that's going to surprise a lot of people. We got to remember that crypto, like, when we look at crypto, it moves so fast. Like, one day we could go down like 50%, the next day we can go up like 200%. Things in this market are extremely uncertain in terms of like movement happening. The Fed is crashing the scam coins now. Nick, why can't you just make me a zillionaire already? Dude, honestly, when you become a zillionaire, I'll be a zillionaire as well. Why'd you sell your Hbar? I didn't sell my Hbar at all. I'm still holding my Hbar. I'm actually in the red on some of my Hbar positions. Not all of them. There was a few buys from like January that are still in pretty good profit, but yeah, ultimately the Hbar dip does hurt me as well. I put 6K into Dogecoin. Oh man, I feel for you. Hbar and QNT all day. XRP, XLM, Hbar, best buy. But honestly, yeah, Dogecoin. I don't even think Dogecoin is done. Like, I honestly foresee like Dogecoin possibly having a massive hype event this year. Must buy. Hi Nick, weekend or weekdays better to buy? Honestly, I try to stay away from buying on the weekends. The weekends are usually, just a time to like get away from the markets a little bit. and really kind of just pay attention to altcoins during like the weekdays. Do a live video on the top 10 low cap gems you think will have great potential. I mean, I could try, but 10 like 10 low cap gems, that would be such a long video. I just want a milli. Did my 85 Q&T buy fill yet? Most likely. I mean, I think that Q&T is down a little bit into like the 80 some range. Doge plus Twitter. Everybody ignores ENT. Yeah, ETN or Electronium is actually a pretty solid asset as well. 1 mil Casper, 3 to 5 year hodl. Energy Web. What's your prediction where Bitcoin is going to land on this downtrend? Most likely at around like 35.5K. So again, like this bottom range here, I would say like we're around our bottoming point. Like we just hit 35.5K, but I mean I'll definitely watch this. Like if we want here, so we're gonna have like a watch party real quick on the 15-minute for Bitcoin. So we just came down to about like 35.5K. If this does come down deeper, I still have this bottom range here at about like 35.2K. We can watch to see what's going to happen here. I'd love to see what happens here. So we're going to watch this closely and see if we do see a massive wick down below this range or if we target that range perfectly. So let's see. Oil pump, hi from Barcelona, Nick. Do you know what we own? But this is painful. Antonio, welcome to the live stream. But yeah, this is a little bit painful. I mean, if you do want to look at it that way, go ahead. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe button. Let's see. Did XRP support just break? Harmony here to make money, baby. Yes, Electronium. Best low cap gems, Zio, API 3. All right, so real quick, let's look at XRP because when we look at XRP, a lot of people are asking if XRP did break the support range. Let's actually look at that. I actually have a trade here. Let's go to real quick because I know on the weekly chart it was looking solid. If we did break that, support line, then that's going to be a little bit... Yeah, so, no, look at this. This is actually insane. So, this is the XRP price chart on the weekly. And on the weekly, I've been telling you guys around a range that we could be testing. So, my range on XRP was always like 55 cents to like around like the 60 cent range. We're basically around these candle wicks of the January timeframe, or just recently like the 55 cent range. Now, I foresee us actually riding the 200-day EMA, so roughly like 56.5 cents around that range is like a perfect point to really kind of see a retest on XRP. But this is exactly why I say like I'm watching altcoins, specifically like XRP, because XRP is actually showing us where altcoins actually are, which is on massive support ranges. Which, by the way, I have this long line here that goes all the way back to the support range of like July of 2021. Now, like I said, watch for those slight candle wicks that scare a lot of people. Where the candle actually lies is the support range, which is at 58.5 cents here. Now, you guys do see us dipping a little bit below that, which is totally fine. Again, watch for those candle wicks. I still foresee us holding this 200-day EMA. I'm not too concerned on XRP at all. I think XRP actually looks pretty strong. Wow, guys, I'm literally going back to the chart and coming back to the chat, and it's just insane that the chat is just going this crazy. So it's insane. Pay attention, massively massive, blah. Enough with the chart voodoo. Not one person predicted this. Not one person predicted the sell-off event after the Fed. I think that anyone that was here during the 17th of March or like around the 16th of March could have predicted this fairly easily. On almost every single Fed live stream, we get this massive pump rally that usually 180s. I would never trust a pump on a Fed announcement. I mean, think about it like this, right? You see a massive pump rally to get out your capital that, or I shouldn't even say capital, but like you basically short the market. It's a perfect range to really kind of see that. Didn't predict, bro, I shorted this stuff. Yeah, honestly, it's... Like, to me personally, I wouldn't be too concerned at all on these massive sell-off events. Like, these, in terms of predictions, like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be trying to... I mean, like, I didn't short the market just simply because I don't even hold Bitcoin. I hold altcoins right now. I don't really care to be a day trader. But this was a very easy prediction to know that we were going to 180. I even said this during the live stream yesterday. I said I wouldn't be aping in and FOMOing into any altcoin positions right now because of course, the 180 event after the meeting. These live streams always work out that way. Like, let's pump it up, then like let's short it. It's pretty simple. Nick, you did mention there might be a short squeeze, I think more than once. Yeah, I mentioned it like 5 times during the live stream yesterday, saying like we could honestly 180 this entire, pump, which we did. I mean, honestly, it's actually the whole pump from yesterday is gone and then some. So, in my opinion, I'm not too worried at all on this. I think that this is just a short squeeze. I think that this is a capitulation event to get as many people out as possible. So, I'm not too worried at all. Dude, honestly, everybody that's in here, there's 320 viewers in here. I want everybody to spam the chat right now. Just spam it with anything. Listen, I've listened to many different people. I think that you are well informed and let go of the FUD and buy the FOMO. Yep. Still holding Gala, Quant, XRP. Should I buy Gala right now then? CRP. Never even. Oh, XRP. Yes, QNT2. So are we looking to go up again on XRP? Yes. I would say on XRP. So real quick. On XRP, when we look at the range here, we will most likely, we could still come down and test the 56-cent area. If this breaks, so this is why I said, like, I would be very surprised if the 200-day EMA level gets actually broken. Because the only time that this broke down before, like, the candle wick on November 16th of 2020, so mind you, it's almost like 2 years ago now, we've been riding the 200-day solid, besides the SEC lawsuit. So I don't expect this 200-day EMA to break. I believe that this is still our bottom range on XRP. So I'm not too concerned on XRP at all. Wow. The entire chat is going crazy right now. You love to see it. You love to see it. Insane, guys. I love it. Yeah, everybody just spam Encrypt is a nerd in the chat. Just spam Encrypt is a nerd. I love it. Yeah. Let's go. Nick, what about Alchemy Pay, ACH? You still a believer? I'm actually still holding ACH. ACH has been a rough one, especially off my average buy point. So we could actually look at ACH real quick. Let me go to the dollar. So, yeah, I mean, ACH has been one that's fairly rough. I think that in terms of marketability, they should definitely be marketing this a lot better. I think Coinbase has more price data on this. Yeah, so this has more price data. So we are really testing back some support. I think that there's, let me see if the USDT chart, one of these charts have a lot more price data. I think it might be the Gate IO. Yeah, so the Gate IO, so we broke down below even the low point that I was expecting us to test. Now this one, so this is actually pretty interesting. So I looked back in time around the range that we are at now to see where we could see major support, specifically like on the weekly. So let's actually look at the weekly. So this was that Coinbase pump where we did see the Coinbase listing for ACH. Could we be at around our bottoming range here? Sure, we could. But, in terms of like the area to buy, I'm not even trying to catch this falling knife because I could see this going down a little bit lower just because like they're not really marketing the token itself. I'm hoping that this does bounce back, but again, it might be at a loss. I'm really just watching this closely. I haven't been putting more money in because a lot of my buy points have been up in the 4 to 5 cent range. So I'm down like over 50% on ACH. It's been a rough one, to be honest with you guys. So, but yeah, I mean, I still think that it could have a strong bounce since it is on major exchanges already. Nick, what happened to LCX now? So LCX is actually in still a profit point for me. LCX has been a very, like LCX to me was a very good profit point take. I think that there's a better. I want to say maybe the USDT chart. One of these had more price data. I just don't know which one. But maybe, I mean, maybe the Uniswap one would have. Yeah, so this one actually has a little bit more. So again, I mean, just because I don't have the, I think on CoinMarketCap we could actually look at it a little bit better, because I really want to see where we entered in, because I know it was like last summer. We are still in profit point on this, like roughly like a 2x. But we came back down to like test those lows. So it was like roughly around like the July August timeframe. It was like 3 to like 4 cents that I was talking about LCX. We ran like over a 10x. So like in my opinion, like we should have been out of this position either way. So I mean, I don't hold any more LCX right now. I will be looking to buy it if we do come down and test those ranges yet again. But you should have definitely taken your profit point on LCX, because I mean, it depends on where you entered, right? Because you know, we 10x'd off of our entry points when I was talking about it during this range. This is like where I was buying it, and we already over 10x'd on LCX. So I still think LCX has great long-term vision. I just don't, you know, I'm not really buying anymore right now. Let's see. Encrypt is a nerd. 42K, Mongoose Coin, 10K for Bitcoin. Honestly, I'm not seeing 10K for Bitcoin, but hey, it is you. Elvis Coin. No, that feeding Nick don't know too. What's a good buy price for XDC? I'm watching XDC come down to possibly like roughly like the 5.5 cent zone. That's what I'm waiting for at least. XDC is a good buy anytime, especially now. Yeah, I still think that the upside on XDC is pretty significant. I mean, especially in terms of like the most undervalued ISO 222 token coins. That's definitely one of them. Is it a good time for Algo entry point? So we could actually take a look real quick at Algo as well. So real quick, let's address it. I think that the Binance chart has more price data. Yeah. So I would say around the bottom wicks of this candle, like around like 58 to 60 cents is a perfect point. I think that this range here is not too bad, because in terms of the price range here, so we could still, to the all-time high, have a 382% run. But I've addressed that the next major, you know, overall fib levels from this point. Sorry, did not mean to. I wanted this. So in general, like to go to like $4.50, this would be still like a 627% run. So I still think that the profit's there. And I do believe that this could run drastically if we do see a nice alt run, which again, in my opinion, we do still see that. Not selling, but hope to buy more. Algo will have a massive pump after this drop is over. Yeah, I think that Algo is definitely one that has a very strong recovery rate. It's been very solid. It's a great day to buy some more crypto. Is XRP a good buy? Yeah, I think XRP around this range is a pretty solid buy point. Like I've said, you know, when we look at the chart for it, so I could show you guys yet again, because I've been addressing the XRP price chart for a while. Like around this bottoming range for the 200-day EMA, it's basically our bottoming point. I don't suspect that we break down below that 200-day EMA at all on the weekly candle. So I would say XRP around this range is not bad at all. What is your alternative wallet? I mean, I use Ledger. I protect my crypto with Ledger, and you guys could use my discount, or not my discount code, but my referral link in the description and stuff. Okay, so guys, with VXV, I'm waiting for us to come back down to like 80 cents. If we come back down to 80 cents, I'm buying VXV, but I'm out of VXV as well. I 10x'd on it. Thoughts on XYO? XYO, I was holding over like 800,000 coins back in like the April timeframe, but I'm already out of XYO as well. But anyways, with that being said, guys, it's been a very long live stream already. We've been streaming for about 44 minutes, so thank you for everyone that stopped by. I hope that you guys enjoyed the live stream as well as the video if you guys are watching the VOD. Thank you all for stopping by. If you guys did, greatly appreciate the live stream. If you guys did like the content, definitely hit that like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.